Okay, so this is part 2 of my video because I'm only allowed a certain amount of time on YouTube. Anyway, where we left off was we were doing phase 3 of the lab and I messed up and I had to restart it. And what I had done was added 20 drops of the yeast solution to 6 milliliters of water, the same amount of water as phase 2 and as phase 1. So now there's more organisms in the same amount of water. They're obviously going to be consuming more oxygen and producing more waste. And before the break, I had to wait 2 minutes and then add reagent C, which is where I messed up in the first part, 5 drops. And the solution has turned blue already without me adding any of reagent D. So this means that there was no oxygen left on this tube because all the yeast had drank it up. Now, if this had not turned blue after the 5 drops of reagent C, I would continue to add 1 drop at a time of reagent D with a swirling in between each drop until this one turned blue. In my data table, however, I'm going to write down that no drops were needed in phase 3 because it turned blue after I was done with reagent C. So what does this mean? When you answer question 2, you're going to be thinking about what does this mean? And I'll just review for you really quickly. We have in our control 6 milliliters of water. There's no yeast in this jar, but it does have all 4 of the reagents, and it took 6 drops of reagent D in order to turn test tube 1 blue. That was our control. In phase 2, we had 6 milliliters of water with 10 drops of our yeast solution and all 4 of the reagents, and it only took 3 drops of reagent D to turn this tube blue. And in phase 3, we had 6 milliliters of water and 20 drops of our yeast solution, and we didn't have to go to reagent D. It turned blue after reagent C. Now the purpose of reagent D is to remove the oxygen from the water totally. So if it turned blue before I added reagent D, that means there was no oxygen left in here. And that's what happened in my experiment. This may be a little bit different for your experiment. You'll be able to answer question 3 on your own and question 5. On question 4, you're going to do a calculation, and I want you to go to doc sharing. Up in doc sharing, there is a document called bacteria growth chart, and I want you to use that chart to calculate the growth of the bacteria in number 4. I'm going to give you a hint. The answer is not 120. And I would like you to skip question 6 on the lab, so don't even do it. You don't even have to worry about it. And that's it for lab 3.05, the dissolved oxygen lab. Thank you very much. See you next time.